and welcome to the
Hello.
Hi, Alexa.
Hey, Alexa.
Can I just, producer, we don't have any visual on our screen.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
so
see
sad.
Alexa's.
Yeah, we want to see your beautiful
I want
face.
to see Alexa's beautiful face.
But
All
we
I
can
see-
introduce things in the
Yes,
meantime.
in the meantime. So, Alexa, hi. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. You?
You sound beautiful.
You sound beautiful.
Both of you actually look beautiful, girl.
Oh,
Aw.
thank you, Alexa. So I'm just going to run through what we're doing here.
Yes.
This is the Rebel Daily live stream at noon Eastern time. We do it every weekday. Nat and I don't get to do it that often anymore because we have our own show. So,
Yeah.
you know. But Alexa's a staple, a constant staple.
Yes, yes.
My name is Catherine.
I'm Nat.
And of course, we have beautiful Alexa Lavoie joining us.
famous
from Quebec.
Alexa.
The very famous Alexa joining us from Quebec. So just a few housekeeping items. We are live right now on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Super U, and there's another one.
Get her.
Get her done. But at some point, if this show becomes too spicy, we're going to switch over to the other platforms because YouTube has some rules about some stuff.
Yeah. COVID.
Yeah. So, but for now, you're safe. And if we do move over, we'll let you know, and then you can join us on those other platforms. So,
Yeah, definitely. Should we start things off by just maybe doing a little store promo?
yes.
You know, it might be a little late for your items to ship in time for Father's Day, but we have a fresh line of Father's Day merch. And right now, you can get, buy one item, get another for 25% off using the code DAD25 at checkout. So go to the rebelnewsstore.com or rebelnewsstore.com actually, and just check out the merch. It's really cute. And
It is cute.
There's also misunderstood merch if you want something more feminine. But basically, just go get your dad something because he deserves it.
He does deserve it.
He
We love
deserves it.
dads. And there's also Canada Day stuff that's going to be.
Yes, we're gonna have a Canada Day promo launching I think on Monday, so stay tuned for more updates
Stay
then.
tuned for
but,
that.
but you know, browse the merch because the Canada Day collection is already live on the site, and there's some really cute
It's
designs.
super cute.
Yeah.
And Rebel News, in partnership with some of our more talented editors, has already been doing a bunch of screenings of Trucker Rebellion.
Yes.
The story of the Coots blockade. There's another screening tonight at Church in the Vine in
Edmonton.
Thank you, Nat.
Yes.
And then on June 21st here in Toronto, we're going to have the very first screening in Toronto
Yes.
of Trucker Rebellion. And I think we're going to have our very good friend and director,
Ooh.
Kian Simone, coming in for that. So I think he'll be doing Q&A. I'm not exactly sure.
Yes, he will.
He will.
With Ezra Levant, the one
Yes,
and only.
Obviously, yes. Ezra will be there. Nat and I will be there.
Yeah, we will. So come
Alexa,
say
are you
hello.
Pardon?
Are you coming?
Are you coming to the Trucker Rebellion screening in Toronto?
I just like look at you girls like just talking to each other. I was like, I actually look like a figurine that I'm not talking and I'm in the middle. No, I can't. Obviously, like I'm moving home for being closer, for being in the middle of the action. So unfortunately, as Canada know, Quebec move all in the same day, the 1st of July.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that a thing?
Yeah. So if you go in Quebec on the 1st of July, you will see moving truck everywhere because everybody moved on the same day.
Wow. That
Why
sounds
is that?
hectic.
Why is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just because, as you know, when you're moving, you sign like a bill, like a contract with but they all start on the 1st of July and they all end up on the 30th of June or 31 of
Crazy.
June. And it's how it's work in Quebec. It's why like it's really difficult to move because all the truck is already rent and
No kidding.
it costs a really high price.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That sounds nightmare. So you're moving.
Yeah. So we are moving. So we are not celebrating really Canada Day because everybody is moving on that day. So
That's funny.
So you will not be in Toronto because you're busy. But if you guys listening are in the Toronto area and want to get your tickets to Trucker Rebellion, go to truckerdocumentary.com to buy your tickets today. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. I'm excited. I haven't seen it.
Me either.
I'm excited.
Have you seen it, Alexa? Trucker documentary?
I actually watched a part of it with my mom.
Aw,
That's cute. I'm excited to see it.
that's awesome. So should
It's
we?
actually insane. It's really good.
Okay.
Well,
Well, we're looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
I mean, we were all following along during the action, and obviously, as everyone knows, Alexa, you were in Ottawa at the same time in the Ottawa protest. And I mean, what would you call it? Protest, party, hangout? I mean, it wasn't a party for you. You got shot.
No, but it was a mix of everything. I think at the end it was more like a Goliath village. Like some people have put like some mailbox where they had their trucks just to tell like they are not going anywhere. So it was kind of protest, but not a permanent protest, but a half permanent protest, I would say.
It was a statement. And I truly believe that what happened there is why we're enjoying so many freedoms now that we weren't enjoying before. And you can chalk it up to lots of things. Like people will say it's because more people are vaccinated, whatever. You can say that it's because it's the summer now and there's less infections. I would argue that last summer we were literally in a state, what was it? It was the stay-at-home orders. So I think I really truly do thank the truckers for the freedoms that we're enjoying now. And for people like you who were on the ground, I went for one weekend and was out there for like maybe 4 hours and was like, I'm good. That's good. It was so cold.
You are hardcore, girl.
Yeah, you're so hardcore.
You are hardcore.
Much respect.
So should we get into maybe some of our items?
Yes, I'm delaying because we can't see the screen.
We cannot see the screen, Alexa.
but Alexa can see it.
But we can wing it.
We can listen.
We're
professionals.
I see you, girl, me. So that's perfect.
Let's play the first clip then.
All
That's
right,
perfect.
great.
So this is about YouTube pushing back against Bill C-11, which, as you know, Alexa, you'll know, and our viewers will probably know, is this internet censorship bill that is going to harm content creators like ourselves. So let's search to that clip now.
Hey everyone, it's Brandon from the Brandon Gona Show, and I'm working with YouTube to share an update on some new legislation in the works in Canada. It's called the Online Streaming Act, or Bill C-11. Here are the impacts that C-11 could have on creators and users in Canada. It can determine how content appears on YouTube, including the homepage and Watch Next section. Plus, a regulator could force artificial promotion of some creators and content over others, which could impact how content reaches global audiences and could hurt views and revenue. Now, if this bill passes, it could have a huge impact on recommendations on YouTube, which means potentially a big change for Canadian viewers and creators like you and me. Now, to break down what this means, let's bring in Todd Beaupre, a director of product at YouTube, whose team helps manage what videos come your way on your home feed. Todd, let's talk about recommendations as they work now on YouTube. What are the basics we need to know?
Hey Brandon, great to be chatting with you. So our recommendations are a really key part of our YouTube viewer experience. And we've designed them to really help viewers find videos that they would enjoy watching based on what each viewer is interested in. We want to help them discover creators and channels that are going to be really interesting to them. It's kind of like if you go to the library and you have a librarian there to help you find the next book that you might enjoy reading based on other books that you've read.
So let's talk about how exactly this bill might play out on YouTube. Basically, we know a regulator could make YouTube show a certain amount of Canadian videos to Canadians. So does that mean you'd have to change the recommendation system?
So first, let me tell you a little bit about how the recommendation system works today. So we collect a lot of feedback from viewers in the form of looking at what they watch, what they don't watch, how long they watch it, whether they click like or dislike. We really aim to recommend the best videos to each viewer based on their personal interests. And so as part of that, we aim to recommend Canadian creators to both Canadian viewers as well as viewers around the world who are interested in that sort of content or content similar to it, regardless of whether the video was uploaded in Canada or somewhere around the world. And by doing this, we're able to maximize the audience for Canadian creators.
Okay, so if Canadians get artificially served up Canadian content, what happens to the systems?
So what would happen is we'd end up mismatching viewers to videos that they would be most interested in. In the space of Canadian content creators, we would be showing their videos to people who would be less interested than other videos. And what that ends up meaning is the reaction from those viewers is likely to be that they're less likely to click on those videos. If they do click on the videos, they would be less likely to like them, or maybe they would dislike them or watch them a lot less. And so that negative feedback that we collect.
Yikes.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that YouTube is, has the same battle to fight that we do.
Which is kind of funny because YouTube censors dissenting voices so frequently. So it's interesting that this has kind of pushed them kind of to be more on our side of things, where we're like, hey, no censorship, within the legal limit. It's very interesting. Alexa, what do you think about this?
They are censoring when it's about COVID stuff, but when it's come to really censor creator and other production that is not related with the narrative, we have a problem there.
Yeah.
We will speak out for that. What about the censorship that happened since the beginning of the pandemic, where you censor, where you shutter ban, where you change everything for not showing the video that is related with another narrative? That's okay. But I find that a little bit an hypocrisy. In facing YouTube, talking now we will raise against Bill C-11 because it's what we should do, because we want to protect
themselves,
creator and producer and themselves, because that will hurt mostly them.
Yeah.
But when it's come with other producer that wanted to show and shed the light on other misinformation, disinformation that have been spread by mainstream media and legacy media, no, that's not good.
Do you guys think that now that YouTube is speaking out about this, that maybe the government will hear our cries and it'll be enough pushback to maybe stop the bill or change things? Because it's a pretty sinister bill. It'll literally impact every single content creator in Canada. That's huge.
Well, I think it goes directly to their pocketbooks. This is a business, so at the end of the day, YouTube probably has some panel that has told them, we're going to lose money because, the guy in the video said, people aren't going to be watching and liking videos as much because they're not going to be interested in the content. It's going to be pushed onto them. So at the end of the day, YouTube's this is going to affect our revenue. And I mean, I'm not really answering your question directly, but maybe because their pocketbooks are on the line, maybe they will make such a stink that maybe it will actually
follow the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, Alexa, it's they don't care when it's just a fringe minority of people who want to know the truth about certain medical interventions. I'm going to say that. They don't care. But when it's actually every single user on YouTube will be given, Canadian user on YouTube will be given content that they're not really interested in and promoted things that they're okay, cool, I guess. It's going to hurt them financially. So, yes, to answer your question in a very roundabout way.
Yeah. Alexa, do you think that there will be positive change from this?
But for me, Bill C-11 and other bill it's been a while that we are talking about. And everybody is talking about now because it's getting more and more closer to be accepted and to be approved by the parliament. But why people didn't took action way before, when that bill had been put straight for the first reading? Nobody was okay, I don't see it as a threat. But it's always when it's getting to be approved that everybody's oh my God, what we are doing. And now we see big tech talking out about it. Okay, why you didn't raise your voice when the Bill C-11 have been put in place? And
that's
say
a really good point.
I think it's hindsight is 2020 almost in a way, because it's now affecting them,
But it was always going to.
Yeah.
I think it's her point. That's such a good point. Why didn't they see 2 years ago when we started talking about this, or was it 2 years? I don't know. I think it was around that.
Yeah.
That this would be a problem for them, and now it's maybe it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary. We are still kind of pushing back here at Rebel News. We do have a petition that you all can sign at stopthecensorship.ca. And I think we have another clip that maybe we could play that kind of piggybacks on this from our new Ottawa reporter, William. Producer, are we able to play that clip? In 5 seconds.
Actually, good clip, actually.
Yeah, it's a really good clip.
Yeah, it's fun.
William is our new Ottawa correspondent, which is funny because we didn't have anyone in Ottawa as of now. Alexa was traveling to Ottawa to cover a lot of that.
Yeah.
But it's good to have some boots on the ground there. And I think, you'll see for yourself, but he is shaking. He's like ruffling feathers on the streets of Ottawa because the MPs are just walking around and they haven't been challenged by anyone because it's all just like CBC journalists leaving them to have their fancy lunches. And all of a sudden you have a rebel.
Egos.
Yeah, exactly. You have a rebel news reporter putting a mic in their face and they're like, who are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's funny. So check it out.
Sir, what did you feel of being in the same party as someone that said "fuck you" to one of his constituents? Will he be fired by Justin Trudeau? Sir, can you answer my question? How did you feel about being the same party as someone that said "fuck you" to one of his constituents? He should be fired by Trudeau, shouldn't he? Sure. Could you explain to me how Bill C-11 can help freedom of speech? Can you explain to me how Bill C-11 can help freedom of speech?
He's wearing a
How
mask
can
outside.
Bill C-11 help freedom of speech? Do you have any idea how he could do that?
Where are you from?
I'm from here, Ottawa, and my name is William with Rebel News.
I hope you have a good day.
I know.
Can you answer my question?
Take care.
Why can't you answer my question? Simple question.
Hey, that's
Why are you coming to me? I'm asking you, how can Bill C-11 help freedom of speech? How do you feel about the Liberal MP that said "f*** you" to one of his constituents? How do you feel about that?
They
Yeah, the
tried to
car
take
stopped
he
and
would
you
cry.
can't really walk in there. How do you feel about that?
I hope you have a good day.
I'm asking you a question. The people deserve to know.
She's like, come, sweetheart. It's okay.
How do you feel about the Liberal MP that said "f*** you" to one of his constituents? How do you feel about that? Won't
Is this the
answer?
Ford
Yeah, just like a
minister?
master.
Foreign.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Melanie
Melanie
Jolie.
Have a good day, sir.
Well, at least you wished him a good day.
What do you think of Bill C-11, the bill that's about to probably pass?
Well, I'm hoping it doesn't pass. There are a number of problems with it, especially around potential censorship issues and letting the government.
What do you think of the fact that Justin Trudeau says that it's going to promote free speech?
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, thank you.
You see, it's only conservatives
What do you
that
think of
speak
Bill
out.
C-11?
Oh, it's terrible. It's
Michael
infringing on
Barrett.
Canadians' freedom of speech. It's a censorship bill by the government. It shouldn't be supported.
So, how do you feel about the fact that you're in the same party as someone that said "f*** you" to one of his constituents?
Well, I think he apologized for that.
Yeah, but he still did it.
He did it, but he apologized.
What do you think of Bill C-11?
It's a great
Oh, it's okay.
How
I
will
apologize.
it promote Canadian content, promote free speech? It censors
Thank
speech.
you.
It will give the government the power to censor speech.
Who are you with?
I'm with Rebel News. My name is William Diaz.
Okay. Well, read the bill. Did you
Yeah, I
the
read
bill?
it.
And where is it written that?
I'm asking you a question.
No,
how
where is it?
how would
Tell
it promote? No, I'm the journalist. I'm asking
No.
you a question. How would it promote free speech? How on earth can it promote
Did
free
you
speech?
didn't read the bill?
I'm asking a question to you, sir. You're a minister.
Did I answer all the questions?
You didn't answer anything about my question. How would it promote free speech? You didn't answer anything. How would it promote free speech?
Read your stuff.
How would it promote free speech? Sir, the Canadian people elected you. Can you give them an answer? How would it promote free speech? Will you be gracious enough to give me an answer, sir? Or are you just going to ignore the country?
You're very disrespectful.
I'm asking you a question. How would it promote free speech? It's a super quick question, sir. All right, thank you for not answering. Have a good day. How can Bill
they do.
C-11 help freedom of speech?
Oh boy.
Well, the full video is going to be coming out later today, but the journalist there is William. He's young and he's doing an amazing job. He was
Persistent.
in their very persistent but polite.
Imagine
know?
if David Menzies did that. He'd probably get arrested.
David Menzies would have been arrested on
Yeah.
site.
Yeah. Just for being there.
And probably I would have been like pepper spray or something.
Yes, and Alexa would have been
you would have
assaulted.
been assaulted.
100%.
Well, glad
You would
two
have
were
gone in
not
for
there.
more, Alexa.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like
No,
they're- No, sorry, go ahead.
I just try to be like really far away from politician, parliament, and police for now.
Yeah, that's
they
fair.
have your
That's
number.
fair.
They know you.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Honestly, though, It's not surprising to me that these people don't want to answer our questions. Like, everyone always is like, shock, outrage. And it's like, well, they've shown us exactly who they are. They're hypocrites. They obviously aren't working for us, like the people. It's not surprising, and it's maybe almost sad that I'm not surprised that they're not answering his questions.
I find them to be so pompous in
Yeah.
the way that they, first of all, they're like, who are you with? Because it's like, well, if you're with one of our friend media agencies, we're going to probably file a complaint against you. And maybe they would answer, but probably not. But they would definitely file a complaint, is, in my opinion. And then when they find out it's Rebel, they're just like, have a good day. And then they walk away like they're ignoring a homeless person on the street. Like, these people have no compassion whatsoever. They just, just the elitism and the pompousness, just like, you guys are elected bureaucrats. You're not supposed, like, what did that, what's his name? The gentleman with the gray hair and the... Pablo. He looks like he's on vacation in France. Like, why are you...
Too cool for school.
He's way too cool. Like, you're supposed to be a public servant, my friend. Like, serve the public instead of walking around with your young assistant and your Starbucks cups. Like, it just... whatever. I want to go to on vacation in France, is my point.
Yeah, I think they've just forgotten that, like, our taxpayers fund their wages. Like, they've just forgotten that. Sorry, what were you going to say, Alexa?
Just for the viewer that doesn't know what William was talking about. So one of the constituents of the Liberal say in a private message, fuck you. Fuck you. To answer to a message about, it was someone who said that she wasn't able to see a dying parents because she was not allowed to travel. And he answered with that answer. And I found that really outrageous. And as you see, like, Liberal would say, well, but he apologized. What? If it was someone else from another business, probably would be fired at that time for having saying that to someone. And especially, like, it's paid probably by that same person with her tax, and get that answer from this person. It's probably like one of the most outrageous thing, like the same as when we see like the police hurting people, paying by the same people that they are hurting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's reaching out to her local politician to
express her concerns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A legitimate concern like that would be, my parents aren't so old that they're in retirement homes, thank God. But if they had been during lockdown and I'm unvaccinated, I wouldn't have been able to see them. That would have been a huge moral dilemma for myself. And it ultimately is at the hands of them saying I can't see my family. It's disgusting.
It is. And I think our reporter, Lincoln J, has an interview coming out today with this woman. So definitely go to rebelnews.com and check that out later. So lots of fun hypocrisy happening within our government. Should we talk about something else?
So we have an article from CBC about the House of Commons lifting vaccine mandates.
Ooh, wow.
It's not new news.
Another hypocrisy, because I don't know if you know, but in Quebec, the National Assembly, they, what I heard so far, I'm not sure it's like 100% sure, but like all the MP was not obligated to be vaxxed for them.
Oh, nice.
So,
well, that's
but
just
all
great.
the people was working there, that wasn't obligating mandate. But for the other, was fine.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Exactly.
So, according to this CBC article, Government House Leader Mark Holland put forward a motion Thursday afternoon to end the mandate, which has been in place since last fall after House leaders from all parties met earlier this week. Why now? Why? And then I guess they still have to wear masks until June 23rd, because I guess after June 23rd, the science changes. It's just insane.
They have to trickle it down so it doesn't look so stupid.
Or stupid. Ah, man, it's just crazy. Like, why just give people the choice to wear a mask or not? Like, the mandates for masks have dropped literally everywhere else. Like, why? What's the difference here? I just don't get it.
I think it's because the House of Commons, you have more risk to get something there, because it's all politician there. Huh?
And they're traveling.
They have their special air purifiers. Or something.
They're all over the place.
That's
and who
funny.
knows what they're doing with who. It's just funny that this is all trickling down now after sane people have been like, well, it's your own health that you're taking into your own hands this whole time, one would argue. And now it's kind of like in vogue. And actually, Ezra said something months ago in a meeting here. And he said a politician is someone who, I don't think he coined this, but he said a politician is someone who sees the parade walking down the street and then runs up in front and starts waving the flag.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what's happening. And we, arguably see that with
The conservatives.
as well. Like I personally really like Pierre Poilievre and I like what he's saying a lot, but critics of him, and rightfully so, are saying like, well, where were you a year ago, 2 years ago, when people were suffering and
They're
like,
opportunists.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a politician. That's what a politician does. I don't know. It's not, I shouldn't be shocked by it, but it's like, it's disappointing that we had no one speaking for us other than like fringe politicians like Maxime Bernier.
And Roman Baber.
Yeah, exactly. People
Yeah.
were speaking out, but they were, and Belinda Carahalios and Rick Nichols, like there were people who were standing up to these
Measures.
measures, and getting kicked out of their parties for it. But now all of a sudden, even the conservatives are like, oh, it's enough, and it's like, it was enough 2 years ago. It was
Day
never
one.
like-
Yeah.
yeah.
But in the same time, like one of the deputy at the National Assembly here in Quebec, she decided to change party, and because she was speaking out and everything, her salary dropped of $20,000, I think, per year. And as well, she had like all the deputy against her. It was really hard for her. Everybody was like against what she was the only one to raise her voice on 100 and I don't know, like 30 and something like deputy. So imagine like being like everybody is just turning your back on you. So I can understand that probably Pierre Poilievre at that time maybe was not ready. Like everybody have a time to be ready to speak out. I don't know when exactly he raised his voice. I think it was before the Freedom Convoy.
It was around the Freedom Convoy. Yeah.
Yeah, you make a good
Yeah.
point. And maybe if he, to defend him, had he spoken up at that time, maybe he wouldn't currently be in the top leadership position for the Conservatives. Like maybe we would have someone like Erin O'Toole who was like playing by the rules the whole time and continues to, where we have someone who played by the rules until it was opportunistic to change. And maybe that's in our best interest, maybe, because now we have someone who is on our side who actually has a shot at becoming the next prime minister.
I just don't think that like changing the leader is going to change the party. I think it's a party issue. I just don't see, even if he stands by all the things he says, I just don't see how that party's going to change because they've all failed us. I don't know.
She's a bit of a cynic.
Yeah, I'm cynical about all politicians.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
politicians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like to be a politician is to be someone who, like you said, is opportunistic and wants to be like
They want glory, I guess.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
I think I forget if it was Plato or Socrates, but one of them. I think it was Plato in the Republic. He says that people who end up being leaders of communities are the last people who should be.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who want the glory, and the people who don't want that glory are the people who would be better off running things. So it's like you never get the right person.
So Alexa for prime minister?
Yes, Alexa
For prime minister. Write her on the ballot, folks.
I speak both language at least.
Yeah, you
does,
do. And
yeah.
you're cute and strong
Yeah,
and smart.
and she's
so
badass.
Yeah, so I think you have my
You
vote.
have my vote, Alexa.
Anyway.
I think I'm too sensitive for that. I think like if something happened, I would be like, just what's going on?
Maybe we need
Maybe
a little
Canada needs a little empathy. Yeah. That's awesome. So should we talk about inflation, guys?
Oh,
Inflation's
yeah.
killing us all.
Oh my god!
It's literally killing us all.
Yeah.
So apparently, according to the Ottawa Sun, half of older Canadians are delaying retirement due to inflation. Well, that's just sad. You work hard your whole life so you can retire, and guess what? You can't. You just can't.
Yeah, so this was an Angus Reid survey was conducted, and like Nat said, more than half of older Canadians are worried about retiring. And apparently, there's a quote here that 63% of older Canadians were worried about never being able to retire.
That's a lot.
I mean, maybe they're being dramatic, but my goodness.
No, that's a lot.
Like, when you get married and you say, till death do us part, like now you're going to be saying that to your employer because you're going to be working to the grave.
Yeah.
It's great.
So
We're
I
having
guess
fun.
I guess Alexa, the three of us are never retiring, but maybe we can find a commune or something
Yeah.
and just camp out and farm.
I'm ready to retire today.
Yeah.
So this is
Yesterday.
harsh news for me.
It's just
But-
sad.
I think it will as well change a lot of Canadian. as I say, I'm always being like really careful because I travel in really poor countries. So I really realize how we have the chance to have everything so close to us. Like I remember in Africa, I was chasing water and I was sleeping in a tent and I was washing myself like maybe one time per 3 weeks. I was not tan, I was dirt. But when you come back and you drink water from tap water, you realize that, okay, maybe I should change my lifestyle to adapt myself to having, you know what I need to be happy and not extra. And I can live comfortable. And it's just because the society say to you, like, more you own, more you're happy, and some extra stuff that probably stay in your wardrobe for like many years because you think you needed it because you saw it and it was looking pretty. But
I feel attacked right now.
No, it's so true though. It's so
you're
true.
Absolutely right.
Society like keeps telling us to love ourselves and then we'll finally be happy. Keep buying, take care of yourself, yada yada.
Yeah, like self-care.
Go on the trip.
We've talked about this on our show, but like self-care is literally like, well, you need to spend money for self-care. You need to take time off of work for self-care. You need to go on a vacation. You need to have, like I made an example of, they sell these like little tiny mini fridges that you're supposed to keep by your bed to keep all your night creams in so they can keep cool. It's like,
you don't need that.
You don't need that.
You don't need that. We don't need half. Yeah, she needs it, and we'll buy her one later. But I think like you're so right. You hit the nail on the head. Like contentment leads to joy. Like when you're just content with where you're at, I think that's when you'll find peace. And I think that's definitely missing in Western society. And I think that's why people are making up so many problems. You know, like about pronouns and stuff like that, because they're continually searching for what's going to make them feel better about themselves, and it's just very misled.
But the society told you like, oh yeah, buy, and we begin to be a society that we live over what we are capable to do it. And now people have a lifestyle that costs really a lot. And now it's the one that suffered the most because the one that take like, you know, they have no car, but they still use the bus. But the gas doesn't really affect them for now until the bus or the transportation rise their cost. But they will see it more on the food, but they will make choice on the food now. That's saying instead of buying, you know, some fruit at this price, I would change my natural habit to change and try something else
like
because it's cheaper. And my only point in the inflation is the hiding inflation. When we see package that you have like example, one granola bar less in the box, but you think you buy the same thing, but you have less on gram. And it's just because the company doesn't want you to see that you pay more for what you get.
Just
this
robbery.
is
Have
not
you seen
right.
the size of granola bars these days? They're like, they used to be, and maybe because I had little baby
like a
hands.
bag of chips, they're like half empty now, and you're like, this is like $5 for less. That's such a great point.
Yeah, you know, my dad and I were having a conversation about this, and we were talking about why there was only so few doctors speaking out on mandates and stuff. And he made a point that because so many people are living paycheck to paycheck, people have so much debt, and you literally you don't have the freedom to speak out. So people were like, well, why aren't, and maybe it goes for politicians too, like, why weren't more people feeling free to say, I disagree with these mandates? It's because like they literally have fancy cars and they have a huge house that they, like you said, Alexa, they live outside their means, and they have all this debt and all these financial obligations, and they literally cannot afford to miss even one paycheck. So it's like zip, like debt keeps you silent because and it's like kind of like, why wouldn't banks and big government want that? Because then we're way more compliant when they know that we cannot afford to speak out and lose our jobs.
So I was talking with the actuary here in Quebec, and he was explaining to me, you know, we shut down the economy, we shut down the business. But when you print money, but you have no production, so every production needs to be paid. And if you have no production, you just get inflating. Like, so the value of everything get higher because you keep printing, but you have no production. So of course, same if everybody was like, okay, everything will go okay, we will pay you, you stay home. It was absolutely sure that inflation and probably a recession would come. And especially when we look at, so we all say that it was, I don't know how you call it in Ontario, benefit recovery or something from the government when
Like
you were locked down.
Yeah.
So I think in Quebec they calculated how much they give, and for that, for the normal citizen, it was about $4 or $5 billion at the end. But when we look at entrepreneur, big businesses, we talk about $90 billion. They were giving 3/4 of their salary for being shut down. This is what hurt the most the country. Keeping like entrepreneur and big company 3/4 of them what they gain on salary, but telling them you cannot produce, you cannot do anything. They were able to keep their business open, especially for construction field or anything, but they shut it down for no reason. And now it's everybody in Canada that will pay. It's not them. Their salary would not change at the parliament. Politicians will always gain the same salary. Their salary will never be in effect. But the normal citizen, like medium wages are down, will suffer a lot. I'm thinking of like suicide that will probably come on this, big depression, mental illness, and we have already damage from the lockdown on the mental illness. So imagine in a couple of days, that will as well raise like violence. People will fight for having like what they need and money. They will probably have more robbery because people have nothing to make survive their own family. What they are thinking to expect, like gas is taxed and is taxed on tax. Hello.
No, and I think like our reliance on foreign gas has a lot to do with why inflation is so high, because we have the resources here. If the government in the United States and Canada just built the pipeline and we were able to rely on our own resources, I really think that inflation would be a little more at level, I guess, because we're relying on foreign oil and there's only so much. It's supply and demand, you know, and it's so egregious that our politicians don't want to do that because they want to seem like they care about the environment or whatever. It's just, it's insane. People are suffering.
And you know what? Every politician, like in conservative leadership, they were like, we will extract the mineral and their natural resources. Hello, Mr. Legault banned that. He banned the fact to extract or to produce anything from our province.
But we have no problem bringing it in from somewhere
Russia,
else. Especially places where we ideologically conflict, like Saudi Arabia and Russia. We're like, that's fine, we'll take your oil. Sorry to cut you off.
And apparently rent prices are now going through the roof as inflation soars. So maybe we can talk about that a little bit. There's an article here from, I believe, CTV News, just as a nice little segue. So apparently an economics professor at Concordia University in Montreal said Canadians can expect to see the rate of inflation increase in the near future, as well as in a rise in rent prices. Apparently Toronto saw rent prices skyrocket between 2021 and 2022, with average rent price of a one-bedroom unit in the city at $21.33 per month, a 15.7% increase compared to the year before.
That's nuts.
And like our wages aren't going up.
And we already had a housing crisis before all of this inflation. Like people, 5-6 years ago, people were already like, it's so expensive to live in the cities. I don't know what it's like in Quebec.
Yeah,
Alexa.
what's it like?
What's it cost for like a one bedroom there?
So I would say like us in Quebec, we have a kind of chance so that it's not really affecting. It's affecting. I would not say that. It's just like, I was talking with someone I was doing like a streeter, and the guy say, you know, I left my apartment. I was paying like $700, but my owner, the owner of the place, rent after me for $1,200. So it's $500 more on the same place, just because he left, because we have like a protection on the bill that you cannot raise your
on
price.
The same tenant. We have that as well.
Yeah, but if you leave your place, you can increase like the price as the normal level of the renting place. But here I would say that it depends if you take it with furniture or not. But it's turned around Quebec City, I'm talking, but around 800. It's not too bad. It depends on how many pieces.
I'll move there.
If you go to Montreal, you can see the big difference.
Okay.
The price is really more high because Quebec, it's mostly like student or like, people work around, but it's not a really industrial place.
Right.
But we can see in the suburb, like neighbor, price is getting high too. Like people have really a hard time to find place to stay. Here, our problem is not as the price as we don't have apartment. We don't have any place because we have a restriction on building.
Yeah.
So we don't have enough space
So it's supply
for
and
the
demand.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like liberals hate construction and just like
Infrastructure?
Infrastructure,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, definitely.
she knows how to read my mind. When
I
don't
read
know.
her mind. Yeah, it's just insane. And the thing is, if people can't afford to pay their rent, they're never going to be able to afford to buy a home ever because all your disposable income is now going towards your inflated rent. Like, what are people supposed to do? I guess we'll just own nothing and be happy.
And we'll eat crickets.
Yeah, we're going to eat crickets.
What do you think it will happen?
Well, okay, according to this
People will-
article. Oh, sorry. No, what do you think?
I would just say, what do you think it would happen? It's just because some people would not pay their rent,
Right?
And the owner would have a hard time to get their money.
That's happened historically
It's happening here a lot right now, apparently.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show as well, where it's what's it called, economic disobedience.
Yeah.
where people just refuse to pay rent, and
Which is not fair to the landlords either.
it's not fair to the landlords. But some I read that, I forget which city it was in the U.S., but I think it was in the 70s or 80s. The rent was I think it was New York.
New York
actually,
City, yeah.
And the rents were just increasing like crazy. So people started, and there's a musical about it called Rent, which is actually a great musical. But people just stopped paying rent, and it actually imposed rent control, which you can argue is not good because landlords will specifically make your life a living hell so that you leave because they'll like, if you have like something broken in your apartment, they'll just be like, it's on you. Like they have no no incentive to actually make your living space nice for
experience.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's pros and cons to that. But in that one situation, it ended up in rent control. It's arguable. I don't really understand which one's better or not, but it seems like we need, and I don't think people should not pay their rent because, like you said, it's not fair to the landlord.
Yeah.
It's not fair to people who pay their rent, who actually are like you
law-abiding
mentioned, you had 4 jobs
citizens.
when you moved here. Like how does that help society as a whole? I don't know what the answer is, but what did the article say?
The article did say that by the end of this year, we should see like the prices deflate a bit, but I'm not really sure, like based on what grounds. Like such an empty prediction. I'm not sure, and also why specifically at the end of the year. Is there something we don't know? I don't know. It's interesting, but
I feel like we're in a little bit of a bubble. Like I am no financial or real estate expert, but I do feel
I'm
like
not either.
prices are so high. Like my dad lives in this reasonably sized house. It's not very big, but the price of it has gone up so much in the past couple of years. And even he was like, this is not worth that. Like
Right.
it's not a reasonable rate for this
outrageous.
home. Exactly. So I do think that maybe and I don't know, again, I'm not an expert on this at all, so apologies, but if the price of homes in a buyer's market go down, I would think that rental prices should come down as well, but maybe they don't. Like maybe landlords are like, sweet, I'm making a bigger profit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We should call in an expert.
We should call in an expert. I am not that.
But I have my own place that I rent, and I would say that I'm going with the flow with the price of the market. So it's probably the market that needs to go down.
Good point.
Than the price of the price that you pay your place, because I don't think it's really related. At the end of the day, you buy a place because you want to rent it and at long term make profit on it. I don't know how many years or whatever, but I have something to say. Toronto, what you pay for rent, it's way higher. Like it doesn't go really with the. Yes, of course, you pay a lot for a place. I think it's almost. Sometimes it's like $1 million. It's just stupid.
Yeah, houses are like
But,
1.5.
And they're not even like,
Yeah.
when you think $1 million home, you think like
A mansion.
pool, yeah,
Yeah.
like basketball courts. No, it's like a bungalow.
Yeah, it's like a one bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they need to review the market or do like frozen
Corrections.
limits, frozen limits of the price that you can rent a place, because right now people can put whatever how much they want to rent that place, and that is not good for
Doesn't
the
that drive up
consumer.
costs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just a vicious cycle, and it's about to get worse because apparently the world's largest cricket production facility is officially complete, you guys, so we can be poor and eat bugs.
Yeah, so they're farming crickets to put into, I think, like meat patties, like cricket
Yum.
meat food. Where is this?
So
London,
this is
Ontario.
in London, Ontario.
Oh boy.
So Aspire Food Group's new plant in London, Ontario is ready to produce 9,000 metric tons of crickets annually for human and pet consumption. Okay,
No, Beatrice, you won't be eating crickets.
are you gonna eat them, Alexa?
I
see
have
her.
some flour of crickets here.
I knew it. You're very
it's
adventurous.
No, it's actually a really high protein powder that you can cook with on muffin or crepes or bread, and it's
I won't be
really
eating
high.
crepes at your house.
It tastes absolutely nothing. They actually transform it as a flour, like instead of white or brown flour, you use that.
Right.
In the time, like I bought that, it's been a while, like a couple of years ago, and at that time the price of just a small pack was so high,
Really?
because the demand was
That makes it more
there,
appealing.
but yeah, for someone who wants to get in shape and feed the muscle and everything, it's actually a really good nutriment. It's just like people see the bugs as ew, but when it's grilled and put on flour, you don't really realize that it's actually bugs.
Yeah, I think for me, it seems like there's an attack on the meat industry, and they're trying to replace farming meat via cows, etc., with bugs. And that scares me, because the World Economic Forum's talked about this, and it's just like, it's like, do you think our politicians are going to be eating bugs? No, it's just the rest of us.
No, I hear what you're saying, Alexa.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially if they make it more cost effective for people. But I don't like when WEF people, like World Economic Forum people, are telling us to eat bugs. Then my antenna go up, and it's like, if it was like rebels like you who were like, this is actually a great source of protein, it's really healthy, it makes sense for my lifestyle.
Oh, that's a disgusting
Well, that's
image.
disgusting. Yeah.
Okay.
But
we won't.
I would say something like, human should not eat meat every day. We are not made for it, but it's just the society and the rhythm of our life make that we eat meat mostly every day. But we are not carnivore as human. We are omnivore, so we eat a little bit of everything, and we should mix with
balance.
Mix with everything.
Yeah.
It's why like the production can get like at a high point that we waste so much. Actually, I would say the production is too high, and if you look at all the grocery store, they throw away most of their stock because people are not buying it, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like,
there's a lot of waste.
I think it's mostly the waste that make the meat industry look bad, because
and
it's
the
not
factory
the consumer.
farming.
That's
gross.
gross. Yeah, we need to go back to the basics for sure. But yeah, I'm probably not going to eat bugs. I might eat bugs if you make cookies with bug flour in it.
If you bring cricket cookies to the office,
I'll
Alexa,
eat them.
I will eat one.
But only for you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Only for you.
With chocolate chips, please.
Do we have any chats? Maybe we
do.
should
We
get
have a
to some
ton
chats,
of
because we
chats.
only have about 10 minutes.
Yes, we do.
Here.
Do we put them on the screen these days, or should I just read them? Okay.
I'm not the best reader.
Yeah, I have them here. So we have $1 from Noble Canadian. It says, 1 pretty rebel host I can handle, 2 okay, but 3 rebel hosts, are you trying to make me smitten? Thanks for all you do. That's so sweet. It's true.
Maybe you should have sent $3. No, I'm just kidding.
One for each of us?
One for each of us.
That's very sweet. Thank you, Noble
thank
Canadian. We have another from Fraser, $5. The 3 most beautiful and charming ladies on YouTube. Guys, I see a trend here.
Wow, that's so sweet. You should watch Misunderstood then, and maybe we'll have Alexa
We should
on,
call
and the
this
3 of us
Feminine
can...
Fridays from now
Feminine
on.
Fridays. That's so fun.
You want to take the next one?
Oh yeah, where is it
Noble
here?
Canadian again.
Oh, Noble Canadian again. Thank you for your $1. I don't trust any politician that won't answer a question by Rebel. Yeah, that's fair.
Why are you so scared?
I know.
Why are you so scared of like a young journalist with a microphone?
Yeah, he's like 17. Like, what's he gonna do to you?
He's a little older
Talk
than
about
that.
his math homework?
Oh no, he's not.
No, he's literally 17.
Yeah. He's super young.
He's just gonna talk about his math homework or something. Like, I'm just kidding. He's
The
great.
the point in all that is like journalists are not important. We are here for just ask the question.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's their point to make it look good, not us. It's like it can
Exactly.
be anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've said this before. It's like we're only going to make you look as stupid as you make you look
Yeah,
yourself look.
we don't want to trick. You don't want to trick anyone.
No, and especially in situations like that where it's just him walking down the street holding a camera, like there's not a lot of room for subtle, tricky editing. We don't do that anyways. People always think that. Like that's why they don't want to go on camera with us because it's like, oh, you'll manipulate it.
No.
People do that, but we don't have time. We pump out so much content in a day. We have no desire to do that because we literally tell the truth. That's our whole
That's our
business model.
shtick.
That's our shtick. And B, we don't have the freaking time or
Energy.
resources
Yeah.
to be manipulating every single thing to make you guys look stupid. You just make yourselves look stupid by not answering questions. So,
Yeah, you've done it to yourself.
yeah, you have.
I think we have another chat here from Adam, Ottawa. Congratulations, Rebels. iPolitics covered William's interview of Omar, the transport goblin. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you for your $1, by the way,
Yeah.
Adam. We
Yeah,
appreciate
William
that.
is killing it. He's truly killing it. He's just nabbing all those politicians.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
it's good.
Like they're just all like going to lunch in their fancy jackets and stuff, and they're not ready for a rebel with a with a mic in their face, and it's funny. I love it. I think they're going to be taking a lot more Ubers around or their fancy Escalades or whatever they drive. They won't be walking anymore. We have one from Wrong Way 54, $1. Thank you. It says 5 months after the epic historical trucker protest in Ottawa for a month, has anyone heard any news on the hospitals being overwhelmed with COVID patients? That would be a super spreader event. Yeah, no.
No, but I did go to the hospital a few months ago. I went to ER and I was talking to the, we won't get into this why, but I was talking to the nurse. I'm okay. And she said
I
that
sound
like,
like
yeah, it's
really
like kind of
long
weird.
arm.
She said that like there weren't enough beds. And so, like, hospital patients would come in and they'd wait in whatever the middle is between seeing your doctor and, like, getting a room or whatever. There just weren't enough beds. So people would be waiting for their own room or bed for up to 3 days.
Because of COVID?
No, just because of capacity. So, like, I don't know.
I think that's been a problem for a long time.
Yeah, and it's something our politicians promised they would work on because we were in an alleged...
Yeah, like you had to.
we were in a pandemic.
You could have
we
built
were in a pandemic.
You could have built hospitals this whole time. They could have like have any new hospitals been built during COVID because of the pandemic, and not just because of the pandemic, but because of the huge gap in the healthcare system that it exposed.
Yeah,
maybe
that's a good point.
Like I know certain hospitals outside of the cities were empty. Like I know nurses who were like, hey, how was it during COVID? And they were like, it was empty.
Because people were too scared to go.
Maybe, yeah.
What was it like in Quebec? Have you had many encounters with the hospital? I hope not,
No,
other
but
than
I
being shot.
Yes.
I was going to say like, oh yeah, after like the Freedom Convoy, the hospital was crazy in Ottawa for by beating people by the police. But I was just
wasn't
joking.
because of
But no, in Quebec, actually, I was talking with some nurse that was telling me that most of the place was empty, and that some people who came to the hospital first was not for COVID, but because the tests of COVID, they have been put in the category of COVID, but it was actually for something else, not for COVID.
Yeah.
So it's why afterwards, the politician, I agree with that they didn't make the difference between the people who enter for something else, but after that, after being positive, that by COVID or for COVID or
with COVID.
Yeah, with COVID.
That was something that came out like only quite recently in the last couple of months that were like, deaths caused by or deaths associated with, or like that people
they died
had
with COVID
It's
instead
completely
of
different.
from.
And I saw a correction. I think it was in a UK newspaper that was like, we previously reported that 4,000 children died of COVID. It was like 4,000 kids were infected with COVID, and they made a little tiny little thing at the bottom.
Big error.
That's a huge error. Like of those 4,000 kids, probably 1 or 2 died. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was like under a couple hundred in the U.S. And obviously, it's horrifying.
It's obvious,
any child dying is
of course,
so tragic.
But it's different than saying 4,000 children
Yeah.
died of COVID. That's terrifying.
Yeah, no, definitely. We got another
But
chat
the-
here. Oh no! Finish your
we have
thought.
another
Finish
one.
your thought.
Oh, but
Finish
I
your
was-
thought.
I
Finish
was
your
just
thought.
saying that it's okay if the lies come from politicians or from the good narrative, because we can tolerate that. But if it comes from conspiracy theory, oh my God, we are not believing that. But all the conspiracy theory, most of them have been like find true.
Yeah. No
Literally.
kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Which one hasn't?
Yeah, which one hasn't? I don't know. We'll
Well,
see.
there's
The Earth is flat. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Pamela for Freedom gave us $10. Thank you
Wow,
so
thank
much.
you.
I live on the Sunshine Coast in BC, and our property taxes went up 40%. Wow.
Whoa.
Therefore, housing prices are up 40%. Single dwelling homes starting at $1 million. Crazy town. You ladies rock. Wow.
No, I'm sorry.
BC's crazy though.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How do you even live?
I'm from Abbotsford, British Columbia, and to buy a house there in like the lower mainland, it's nothing special. It's not on the Sunshine Coast. Like, I mean, it's a sweet little town, but like, it's insane how expensive it is for a town. Like, you're like, what the heck? I could be living in New York City. I mean, I don't want to
can't.
because
You
of
literally
the,
can't.
I'm not allowed, but yeah.
I looked up the price of.
Like the market will crash at one point.
Yeah.
We cannot have a market as high as that. It's
It's a bubble. I don't
Almost-
know anything about real estate, but it's a bubble.
I don't know if you remember. I think it was in 19 what? I don't really remember. But at one point, you know that some place they didn't have any gas anymore. So people who had like big car, they all changed for small car because they were scared to live again this situation where you were going to a petrol station that they were like run out of gas.
Yikes.
But it's probably what will happen. Or as
Here,
you know, have you heard that now? The number of people who have been like tore their car because they were missing gas have increased recently, because some people are just putting $10 or $15 and they think they will reach home, but they don't.
I do that.
That's
I'm
terrible.
like, I can make it. I can make
Yeah,
it.
be careful. Oh my gosh, that's so horrible. It breaks my heart that so many people are suffering in these circumstances. Do you have any final thoughts? Because I think it's 1 p.m. Do you want to take it
already?
away,
Wow.
Alexa?
You want to wrap it?
You want to wrap her up?
I have like some echo of like sibling people, like twin people who are like talking at the same time. But
We're here.
thanks for
Worst
everybody
nightmare.
to-
Come play with us, Alexa.
I think I would just run away as Justin Trudeau, but I don't think Justin Trudeau will have been like running away from three girl. He will probably have smile until that we say
Hello.
we are Rebel News, and he would be like, holy hell.
Yeah. We could Project Veritas him maybe.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, we'll plan. We'll plan. We'll keep
plan
this top
that.
secret because we're live on the air right now, but we'll chat after this.
He watches these, of course.
So thank you guys for tuning in to the Rebel News Daily live stream, which airs every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. It was great to chat with you, Alexa. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I know, I
Come
haven't
to
seen you since the
Toronto.
Christmas party. I miss you.
Please come to Toronto and bake us cricket cookies, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably now that we will be able to take the flight back.
And trains. People
Yay.
forget. Couldn't take a train.
Yeah, trains are so nice.
Yeah. So
I
on
like
Monday, we will resume. I believe it's Sheila and Adam. They usually do
Yeah,
Mondays.
the Calgary show.
Talk a little Western stuff. Calgary show.
about
What's
beef.
up? Well, she's from Edmonton, but
Yeah.
talk about some beef.
Yum.
Maybe they'll talk about crickets too.
Maybe
Who
they
knows?
will. It's a hot topic. But
Until
anyway,
then, guys, have a good weekend.
Yeah, great.
Stay fresh.
bye.
Bye.